From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
This is a WUFT News update. I'm Morgan Plotka. A big surprise in court today as a federal judge refuses to sign off on plea bargains for Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is charged with tax violations and illegally owning a gun while addicted to drugs. Today there was confusion over the gun charge, the judge's lack of discretion on the punishment, and questions about possible future charges. She gave both sides a month to submit a legal briefs to clarify the agreements. A jury in London finds actor Kevin Spacey not guilty on all charges. The House of Cards star was facing 9 counts of sexual assault against 4 men he met between 2004 and 2013. Some accusers said Spacey aggressively groped them. One claimed he was sexually assaulted while passed out in Spacey's flat. Spacey took the stand in his own defense, saying he was flirty but not aggressive. After 3 days of deliberation, the not guilty came today on Spacey's 64th birthday. In local news, Alachua County and the City of Gainesville co-sponsored a Disability Awareness Expo today. The MLK Multi-Purpose Center hosted over 30 vendors at the event. People could visit booths to learn about their products, services, and resources for people with disabilities. There were even guide dogs and therapy dogs at the event.
Yeah. They have an awesome lot of tables here, but one thing, they didn't put any seats for people that's disabled. Where are we supposed to sit down when we get tired?
This event was free to the public to bring awareness for people with disabilities. Santa Fe College is using a collage making as a way to think about career goals and resume building. Envision the Future is a professional developed class hosted at Santa Fe. Terry Bailey, founder of Bailey Learning and Arts Collective, led the session.
We just want to make sure that people get access to information that they wouldn't normally have.
The class consisted of making picture collages based off each person's professional hopes and dreams. Coral reefs off South Florida are not enjoying the hot water this summer. The water may be too warm for some coral to survive. NBC's Ari's Odzer explains how record-breaking temperatures can cause the coral to bleach.
A healthy coral reef looks like this, but corals are sensitive, and with water temperatures soaring in South Florida, researchers are worried this will happen. See those white areas? That's called coral bleaching.
So right now we're on track for corals to bleach this summer, and bleach for a longer period than they've ever bleached before, which will likely lead to high levels of coral mortality.
How worried are you about the fate of the coral reefs of Florida right now?
Very worried. Well, it's really concerning because these high temperatures are just one more stressor on top of all of the other stressors that our reefs here face in Florida.
Coral researcher Dr. Abigail Renegar showed us the specimens they're raising at Nova Southeastern University, which go from these tanks to the reefs of Broward County. But right now, they've halted the coral planting effort because the water is just too hot. Divers are recording temperatures in the high 80s, as deep as 70 feet. And combined with stony coral tissue disease, which you can see here, and pollution, Florida reefs keep taking punches, wave after wave. Bill Precht has been studying corals for 45 years.
It's a very grim forecast, and someone asked me just the other day, well, what can we do about it now? And right now, today, there's nothing we can do about it.
This team is studying pollutants that are dangerous to corals, and through genetic engineering, researchers are developing corals which can tolerate higher water temperatures.
They are, but the question is how many, and how can they scale that up? And that's the question for the future. But the question for the summer of 2023 is, how bad is it going to get?
So how bad will the hit be to ecotourism and the fishing industry, which depend on healthy reefs?
It's a 1-2-3 punch that is devastating, both ecologically and economically.
For today's sports news, we turn to Julianna Reichenbach.
In sports, it's the time of year for World Series events for Babe Ruth and Cal Ripken leagues for kids and teens. Gainesville and Ocala baseball teams are in the mix, along with an Alachua softball team for girls 8 and under. WUFT's Erin Manson shows us how the softball team prepared for this week's big challenge.
7, 3, 7, 3. 1, 2, 3, 7. Gainesville's Santa Fe Raiders are ready to represent.
We're out here getting ready to go to the World Series.
After winning districts, this 8 and under softball team was invited to Jensen Beach to compete against 11 other top teams.
Getting these kids prepared for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. They're being able to go play against teams from other countries and going to represent our city as best as we can. So we're hoping to play all 9 days. Right now, you're scheduled to play starting, our pool play will start on Saturday, and the games will run from Saturday to the championship game on Thursday.
The girls are eager to get on the World Series field and play for Santa Fe.
They're very nervous and excited at the same time. That's all they're talking about is like when we're leaving for Jensen Beach. So like any other kid at that age that gets to experience this once in a lifetime opportunity, they are ready to go.
I'm nervous and excited. Like, it's really fun playing.
I like that I can be outside, and I just like working with my teammates.
The Raiders All-Star team is currently raising money to help with the cost of the competition.
We created a GoFundMe account to try to help cover the expenses of all the families with all the kids involved in the program in order to go and have the best experience that they can have. Our main goal is to represent our city and for these kids to really have a good experience while they're down there.
We all know the Gators came up just short at the College World Series, but the team did set a program record for wins, going 54-17. I was able to watch the action firsthand, but two of the most interesting people in Omaha were a father-son duo who are excited to chomp for the Gators in or out of the swamp.
There's so much history, so many great players have played here.
I met Jeff Cardozo and Mick Hubert.
I mean, it's been going on since 1950.
It's a Gator family, it's a Gator nation. I love being a part of it.
Tyler and Tony are definitely a Gator family. The father and son have been cheering on the Gators in Omaha since Tyler was a toddler.
The entirety of what we've been doing my entire life, so to do this more is just the best. It's really great.
Tony dipped Tyler in the culture. He rode the team bus and mingled with the Gators.
He's carrying a ball bag for a player, or the players bringing him in during their post-practice huddle, telling him to say Gator swag, and he's in the middle of all these college kids, and he's 8, 9, 10, and he's just digging it, and being able to sit with Coach Sully on the bus, heading to practice, and being at the hotel, and they would come off the bus, and he'd be the first one there, and Sully would give him a high five and a hug.
Tyler's time with the players fostered his desire to become a sports journalist.
Not too many 4, 5, 6-year-olds that want to sit and watch a baseball game and understand and ask questions and everything. He was one of them, and so it's kind of been our thing.
Tony DeRamus grew up working games at the old Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha. Now he takes his son Tyler to the games at Charles Schwab Field to cheer on the Gators.
When our team's here, it's awesome.
Tony grew up in Iowa. One game made him a Gator fan.
They played Iowa in the Gator Bowl. Antagonistic guy I was as a kid. They beat Iowa, and I'm just like, haha, they beat Iowa. I became a Gator. Probably after that was 91 with Steve Spurrier. The growth of ESPN and coverage and being able to catch all Gator sports, and then now it's just, I wouldn't say an obsession, but it's pretty darn close.
Regardless of the result.
We walked out of the stadium in tears, after a loss, and he'd hug the players and say, we'll see you next year.
And Tyler and Tony will be back next year, catching another play and capturing another memory for their record books. That's our look at sports, but don't forget there's a big soccer match tonight when the U.S. women play the Netherlands in the World Cup. Back to you, Morgan.
Thanks, Julianna. We wish them luck. That's our time for now, but your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org.